What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be looking at the top 3 guards that the Detroit Lions could be looking at in the draft, so let's get it started. Okay, now let me explain a little bit. One, these are not going to be players that you're probably expecting, so I think it's going to make the list super exciting. Also, I decided to make a list of, offensive linemen and stuff like this that we could be targeting before I talk about how the Lions can redo their offensive line. Shout out to James for that idea. I will get to that, but still, I thought it'd be more important for me to look at guards first, figure out what guards could actually fit the Lions and at what position, and, then we could get into videos like that. Now, specifically in this video, we're looking at right guards, okay? Guys that played right guard, at least somewhat in college. They didn't have to play all their snaps at right guard, but they had a little bit of experience there. Now, obviously, a left guard, a center, possibly tackles. They can all play right guard in the NFL. Possible, okay? Some guys can, some guys can't. So there's definitely other guys out there. Like a lot of centers usually can go to guard in the NFL. We see that all the time. But in this video, we're looking at really guys that at least played at right guard a little bit. And I think you're going to be surprised by a lot of these picks. You may not even know who many of these guys are. And I think that's why it's super exciting. Based on the Pro Football Focus membership that I bought, I got tons of information on these guys. And it's really, really cool. So we may be able to find some sleepers. And I will do other positions if you guys want me to. You just got to let me know. But let's just get this list started. We're going to start off with Kevin Dodson, the offensive lineman out of Louisiana. Now, I'm sure not a lot of people know who even Kevin Dodson is. He is a 6'4", 321-pound offensive guard out of Louisiana. And like I said, probably no one knows who this is. He's a redshirt senior who is projected to go in round 5 all the way through the 7th round. And that's crazy to me because this is a very good player, and he graded out very, very well. He wasn't even invited to the NFL Combine, which is crazy. And if you use the mock draft simulator and you do a mock draft and you look for Kevin Dodson, an interior offensive lineman, he's like 290. So you're probably not going to even select this guy to the 7th round. But that can just add to the value of a guy like Kevin Dodson. And I know it scares some people when you think of a guy that's projected to go so late and a guy that's selected late because you don't expect him to have that immediate impact. But the thing with the interior offensive line position is that you find a lot of really good offensive linemen later in the draft. Usually the best offensive linemen come in the 3rd round. You can get definitely, really good offensive linemen in the 1st round for sure. But usually a lot of good ones come in the 3rd round. Some come in the 5th. We saw Ted Karras. I think it was a 6th or 7th round pick. This is a guy that'll probably be later like that, but he's still a very, very talented offensive lineman. In Louisiana, he was a very, very consistent and reliable pass blocker for them. However, in last season, in 2019, he was graded the best run blocking interior offensive lineman in college football, according to Pro Football Focus. In college football, like what? How does that happen? Now, he was good before that. He was a solid run blocker before that. But last season, he was graded as the best, given a 92.3 run blocking grade. A 92.3, that's incredible. This was the 2nd most valuable season by an offensive lineman in Pro Football Focus college era. So ever since Pro Football Focus started looking at these college players, this is the 2nd most valuable season, meaning he had an incredible 2019 season. Now, up to that point, he was a solid player. However, in 2019, he took it to another level, and everything seemed to click. Everything seemed to click with Kevin Dodson, and he's a really, really good right guard that I think that we should definitely keep an eye on. And I think the fact that he could go late in the draft is also a great thing, right? If you don't have to spend an early round pick, this is awesome because, you fill out other needs and still get a solid guard to at least compete for the right guard spot. Right now at right guard, we're looking at Joshua Garnett, possibly Joe Dahl, possibly Bo Benshaw. But I think the Lions should at least draft someone to compete, even if not to come in and start right away, even though they might be able to. This guy could come in and start right away. Kevin Dodson could. And he just took it to a next level. He is very much battle-tested. Over 800 snaps, very battle-tested when it comes to his playing time. He was there for multiple years. You can't even really find stats on this guy. It's crazy. This dude is just completely forgotten about. However, his numbers just tell a completely different story. His technique is something that concerns people when it comes to pass blocking at the next level because of the way he does it. He thinks he could be beat in the NFL. And also, Louisiana isn't a school you usually think of when you think of offensive linemen. Like, Louisiana, who in the world is that? Anyways, he was graded now 92.3 against the run, an 85.2 against the pass, and a 93.1 in zone. This guy was incredible in 2019, had one of the better seasons, and he's definitely a sleeper that the Lions should keep their eye on. And don't be just, a little worried because, hey, he's a late round pick. We shouldn't go get him. This is a guy that the Detroit Lions could definitely take a chance on later in the draft, and it would be a solid guard. Next up on the list, we have Michael Onway, or Onwu, something like that. I can't exactly know how to say his name. Don't exactly know how to say his name. This is the offensive lineman. You don't hear a lot of offensive linemen's names, okay, when they play football games. I'm sorry, you just don't hear it. But this is Michael out of Michigan, and he is projected to be a 4th round pick in this year's draft. Now, awesome, he's in Michigan. He also went to high school in Detroit, so boom, he's already in his hometown. He could be good to go there. But this is another guy Detroit Lions can keep their eye on. There's a lot of guards coming out of Michigan that people like. John Runyon, the tackle, At the left guard, you got Ben Bredesen. But a lot of people forget about Michael here. And personally, I forgot got him a little bit too, and still I started doing some research, and this guy came up as a very good fit for the Detroit Lions. And in his last 2 seasons specifically, he was one of the better guards in college football, which is awesome. Now, he plays in the Big Ten, which is usually more competition, than some other schools like Louisiana. So usually you're seeing really good tackles come through there. However, the SEC seemed to have the best tackles this season with Javon Kinlaw and Derek Brown. Those guys did really, really well. But like I said, this is a guy that's a very good offensive lineman, and what he grades out well in is pass blocking. Some guys are really good at run blocking, some are good at pass blocking, some are good at both, and some are just, okay at everything. This guy is very, very good at pass blocking. In over 800 snaps, he only gave up 13 pressures and 1 sack. Now, obviously, at the guard position, you don't give up as many sacks, but still, a lot of snaps and consistently not letting a lot of things come through. 13 pressures in 800 snaps is very, very good from the guard position. And again, in the Big Ten. Not the same competition as the SEC, but solid competition. This is a 344-pound offensive lineman that came in and took the skills at 360, and he decided that he had to lose weight to play at Michigan because he almost went to Michigan State, decided he had to lose weight, went to Michigan, which was the right decision, by the way. Any Michigan State fans will tell you that he made the right decision to go to Michigan. He's a really, really good pass blocker. So if you're looking for a guy that can come in and protect Matthew Stafford at that guard position, this is a guy to definitely keep an eye on. Last season, our guards right now don't have a lot of experience. Between Bo Benshaw, who really doesn't have any experience, and Joshua Garnett, who hasn't had much experience since he was drafted back in 2016, guy that could potentially protect Matthew Stafford. We know we got to keep Matthew Stafford on his feet next season, and he had a very good season last year against the run. So very good consistently against the pass, and last season he actually had a good year against the run, which kind of just, ties it all together, which makes it very good. He's got the huge size. He's a huge size, 344 pounds, 360 at one point, but he has been able to be athletic enough to make it work. So, there are concerns there when it comes to the pro level, and I think that's why draft stock is so low. I think that's why his draft stock is 4th round, because there are some concerns with that. He could probably lose weight when he comes to the NFL. But also at the same time, they said that the Big Ten played against a very weak defensive tackle schedule, which is pretty true. Like I mentioned, SEC plays a way better defensive tackle schedule than what the Big Ten does. Big Ten has some nice edge rushers, but not really interior. We got Gross Matos, we got Epinesa, we got Young, but we don't got those defensive tackles that are super good and super talented. So yes, he did play against a weaker class 2019. 18 was better again in 2019, but he still grades out very well. 76.3 against the run, which is actually way better than previous years. 85.5 against the pass, which was consistently his grades were like that, and then 80.2 in his zone blocking. So yes, another guy you should keep an eye on, and he could possibly stay in his hometown and go back to Detroit. So now let's talk about the third and final prospect for that right guard position, and this is Damian Lewis. And Damian Lewis is a guy that someone brought up before out of LSU who's projected to go 3rd round. So this is a guy that's projected to go highest out of all 3. I don't know if he will, but he's projected to out of LSU. And I think LSU is a big reason for that. I mean, you got to look at it and you got to kind of think about it. Okay, Damian Lewis, but the problem is he went to Louisiana. This dude went to LSU. You hear about this guy, you see him a lot more, then you have to kind of go out and just kind of look for a guy, Kevin Dodson, because you don't really hear about Louisiana. You don't watch Louisiana TV. You see LSU all the time. But he is a 6'3", 320-pound offensive lineman who actually started off in a Mississippi community college, and then he decided to go to LSU. From there, he had tons of offers, teams like South Carolina, but then he decided to go to LSU, and he played against super tough competition. Like I said, guys like Derek Brown and Javon Kinlaw definitely made it tough on offensive linemen from LSU. And I think Derek Brown was definitely the hardest competition that he had. According to Pro Football Focus and some of the grades, he actually definitely struggled against Derek Brown because Derek Brown was a really good interior defensive lineman. People keep saying he's not, man. He's good. I'm telling you, he's a good player. Okay, not top 3 player. He's a very good player, though. Known to be an explosive run blocker, which is really the reason that, again, if you want to keep with what the Lions are doing and going with offensive linemen that can block in the run, like Big V, if you want to add a guard right next to him that can block in the run, well, Damian Lewis may be that guy. Now, pass blocking, like I said, took a little bit of a dip just because of Derek Brown. He struggled in that area, and he's been, a solid pass blocker, but you have to keep in mind the competition that he went against. But he is known to be a very explosive run blocker and a guy that can get to the second level of linebackers because he will go out there and block, and that's something I always look for, and I looked for that in Big V. I saw it. I see that here with Damian Lewis as well. So he's a running offensive lineman, and his pass protection awareness is a little bit inconsistent, so there's definitely some concerns there. However, the run blocking is something that, a lot of teams are really going to like, and probably why he's going to go so high. He was rated an 82.3 against the run, a 76.6 against the pass, and an 87.5 in zone. So definitely a guy that if you're going to be doing some zone schemes and you're going to run in like that and running in those gaps, this is a guy to definitely keep an eye out for. And again, he's battle tested as well with over 960 snaps with LSU. So definitely a guy to keep your eye on. These are 3 guys to keep your eye on for the Detroit Lions. Definitely there are some other guys, there's centers, there's left guards, there's potentially tackles that can move to guard that we could draft. But in this video, I was just specifically looking at right guards that could make sense for the Lions. And if you guys want to see another position, make sure you let me know in the comments below. But until next time, thank you, Prep, for watching, and I'm out.